you know.
And,
But
and I don't know what the law is for the wildlife, for the sea wildlife. We know that you can't do that with the land wildlife. Oh,
right,
wait a minute,
exactly.
this animal's injured. I want to
you can't bring it back.
Kill
Shoot
it.
'em.
Yeah, you got to kill it.
Yeah, that's interesting too.
Yeah,
what makes them? What makes them save those and not? Yeah, that just blew me away.
Yep.
You know, so that that does. So now I see that Japan subsidized $30 million for Southern Ocean to kill 1,000 whales this season. And then Sea Shepherd has 3 ships on the way. Where's the chopper pilot? What's going on with the chopper pilot?
The chopper pilot, obviously, anybody who's watched Whale Wars or anybody who's followed this knows what a vital part of their whole operation helicopter
But wasn't there
is.
something going on? Didn't something happen to the chopper and he was fixing it? Remember?
Well, yeah, he's had problems with it. I mean, that's every one of those guys that are out there, their life is literally on the line. But if anyone is probably more, it's him. He's up there by himself in a helicopter. Something goes wrong with that helicopter, and that crashes into that frozen.
It's so cold.
That's it. He's gone. He's gone. By the time those ships can get to him, if he survives the crash. So now our good friends at because he's an American, that pilot. He's a Vietnam veteran and all that stuff. So when the ship comes out of Australia, so when an American goes there, they have to go through immigration to. Australian government attempts to sabotage Sea Shepherd's campaign to defend the whales because they're saying, "Oh no, we're not going to issue this guy."
We have a caller.
We're not going to issue this guy.
Hi, Richard.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Well, I was just sitting here watching television. I'm in Maui, Hawaii.
It says
Wailea, a town called Walla Walla, Washington.
You're in Walla Walla, Washington?
Yes.
Oh, you're from Walla Walla, Washington.
We are wine people. We're sitting there watching everything. I'd like to ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think about the? And I see you folks are on a little different side of the page than I am. But what do you think about the introduction of wolves and this type thing into all of this?
You mean for the deer?
Pardon me?
Oh, the North American timber wolf?
Yes.
What about it?
The reintroduction of wolves in the Pacific Northwest. I sat here and I just kind of looked at you folks, just talking about what you folks are talking about.
Oh, you mean with that?
A little different side, but Terry, I just want to. What do you folks think about all of that?
Well, I know the story of the North American timber wolf that they introduced, they brought over there, and you have that dude in, was it Utah or Wyoming, that mayor, that Governor Butch something or other, and I can't remember his name, but he can't stand them, and he always wants to go into the dens and shoot them all. And I do have a lot of people in Washington and around there, and they're freaked out about him. I love the wolf. Personally, I have cousins that have wolves. And I used to have a coyote. Yeah. But, you know, it's the people, you know, I'm so against the killing of these animals. I think they need to it's the idea of them trapping them, the way they kill them, the way they do this shit. We're the ones that put them over there. It's,
well,
it's...
You know, it's pretty interesting that I'm sitting over here at night, and we're all on television tonight and just sitting here talking about this. But it's very interesting that, to me, it's just a elk and a Rocky Mountain elk guy and all this kind of stuff. And I've been through this, and I've seen the devastation that some of these wolves have done, especially in the Amnaha side of the river. They have devastated all the deer herd. And you know, it's not that I think that we don't look at the full picture. There's a reason. Like the little wolf that went all the way down there to the California border by himself, that went through lower part of the state. It's been on the news all by himself with his collar on. and he's doing good. I mean, everybody's cheering for him. When he gets down there, what the hell is he going to do? You know, because I'll tell you, those things are really, they're really tough guys.
Well, yeah, I know, Richard, I do agree with that. They're tough. I don't know anything about this particular situation that you're saying, that this single wolf went from the Pacific Northwest down to California with a collar on. I don't know what that's all about. I trust you. It's some sort of a tracking collar.
It's been on national news, I'm telling you.
Well, it may be. I don't dispute that it happened, but I couldn't comment too much about it because I don't know anything about it. I certainly try and keep up on everything, but with the internet today, I think all it teaches you that there's no way you can keep up on everything. It's challenge enough to keep up with so much locally, much less to go and checking on other states and so forth. So I just don't have the knowledge of it.
All right. Well, let me just make one statement, and I'm going to get off of here. And I'm glad we had got to talk about this, because out of Imnaha drainage in eastern Oregon, the Blue Mountains coming through Walla Walla, Washington, the mountains down in
eastern Washington,
Baker, Oregon, and all this, those little wolves are not the little dreamers that all you folks think they are. They are a terrible eating, running machine, and we don't need them reintroduced. It costs millions for the federal government to put them out of business in the 20s and the 30s. And with this, I'm going to close my mind, because I'm a cattle guy, and you know, and you sat there grinning on the TV.
Well, when you said you're closing your mind,
wait,
Richard, things are a damn machine.
Richard, I'm a vegetarian, so I'm smiling because you're a cattle guy.
But you're a beautiful girl.
Well, thank you. You're a very nice man.
Thank you for calling in, Richard.
Not, thank you guys. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you for your vacationing here. So, well, yeah, I mean, I have a friend of mine. I have a friend of mine that lives in South Dakota, I think, and we do talk about the wolves there. And she's from Washington, so I know where Walla Walla is. I lived in Bellingham. So that's in eastern Washington, I believe. And yeah, she goes crazy also with the wolves, and she freaks out. She has kids, she has grandchildren, and she said
wolves are predators.
And
I mean,
they are predators,
but
you know, and like I said, you know, I'm an animal person, so I do go crazy. I wish they didn't introduce them. Because
I mean, I don't know. I don't think they were introduced here.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Where did they come from?
They brought them from Canada.
Well, I think before man ever got there, these animals.
But you could ask it. You could call back, Richard. They did. They brought him from Canada, and they brought him to Washington.
Well, so you don't
Wyoming.
think when men weren't here that there weren't wolves?
There were wolves, but I guess that they did so much hunting, they were gone.
Exactly. Yeah. So
and
man
so they brought him again
and killed them. And
they killed them off, and then they reintroduced them again.
Yep.
And they got so many. What they should have done is, you want to introduce a few wolves, but they should have, you know, had them birth controlled and did whatever they did, but had them spayed, and then reintroduced what you wanted to do, you know, but they didn't. The ones that are in Washington, I know, and actually where I used to live in Washington, this friend of mine that's coming out here told me his cat was eaten, his little dog was eaten. I was blown away because I had my dogs and cats there.
Yeah, well,
and I said mine were never eaten, you know?
When man moves into further and further out, there's no room for the wildlife left.
And
That's why when they have, you talked about, you had a coyote, when they had coyotes in California.
I had a coyote, I had a bobcat.
And it ate my pet dog. Well, that's because the coyote lived there, and his ancestors lived there for thousands of years, and now you're forcing him out. He's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, they have nowhere to go, like in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
you see the coyotes in where all the big houses are.
That's it.
So I mean, I know where the cattle guy is thinking, but Mr. Cattle Guy, Richard, watch the movie Earthling. It's narrated by Joaquin Phoenix, and then you might have pet cattle.
Well, the man said that he was closing his mind to this, so that's why I laughed. So anyhow, getting back to our Sea Shepherd.
Sea Shepherd.
Sea
Shepherd.
On the eve of the Sea Shepherd and the 3 ships' departure to defend the whales in the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary, this is on December 5th, so not too long ago, the government of Australia has tossed an obstruction in the path designed to delay the plans to confront the Japanese whaling fleet.
Now, why is the Japanese paying so much money when they've lost so much money with the tsunami and stuff? But they're paying so much money to go out.
Somebody makes that decision. So Chris Altman has been our helicopter pilot annually since 2005, was today denied his visa to Australia. He was not given a reason for the decision. Altman, who's a U.S. citizen, a veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps, professional helicopter pilot.
He's not going to be flying anymore?
Well, if he can't get there, if the Australian government won't let him in, then he can't be there.
So why won't they let him in?
They won't say why. We don't have to give, we're just making his decision. We don't have to give you a reason for it. No reason was given for the decision. He's been told he will not be permitted a visa to enter Australia. The Australian embassy in Washington, D.C. would not give a reason. It appears that the Japanese ambassador to Australia has been making some phone calls.
Oh my God.
So apparently there's a little bit of influence there. A couple of years ago, Paul Watson was denied his Australian visa. So it delayed him getting in there. So that's the kind of battles that Sea Shepherd is constantly fighting.
So they need somebody from Australia to be a pilot.
Or, and not only be a pilot, somebody that's willing to do this, to take this chance to say, yes, I want to go save whales. I'll go out there in the middle of nowhere, fly over this frozen water.
There has to be one Australian that is a pilot that loves whales.
Maybe, maybe not. And especially that there was no plan for this. They're getting ready to
all
go.
Australians out there. If
Getting
you know
ready to go.
Fly and want to help whales, give us a call.
And in addition, the Australian government is not interested in patrolling this area. It's like, well, if you had the Australian Navy out there patrolling and saying, this is a whale sanctuary, you can't hunt whales. They said, no, they're not going to do any patrolling out there.
Do they always patrol?
No, they won't patrol. They refuse to do it.
They've never done it.
As far as I know, I hate to say never because I don't know, but I never heard of them doing it.
So the Southern Pacific, the Southern Ocean, this is where they always go, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where the Sea Shepherds always go, or they have for the last, 10 years. And that's where the Japanese hunt. And that's the Sea Shepherd's mantra is, we're going out there because the government officials who are supposed to be protecting it won't do it. So
are we almost done?
We are almost done.
Oh my God, our show is over.
Well, I don't.
We got to do our
you've
sponsors.
Got to do sponsors.
Oh my God, this was such an interesting show.
We hope you guys think it was interesting too.
I want to say hello to Jenna and Mike and all these people. I miss you, Jenna. So, oh my God, pump, don't dump. Remember, people, go on these boats. Pump, don't dump. And so when you're out on these tour boats, make sure you mention them. For the Ninth Life, ninethlifehawaii.org, 573-3499. For the Boo Boo Zoo, booboo.org. And I can't do faster. The Pet Shop at the Kahumanu Mall, at Maui Mall and Kahumanu Avenue, Kahului, the Pet Shop with John and Susan. Dan's Greenhouse on Front Street, dansgreenhouse.com. Come on, Reef Encounters, Daryl Smith, reefencounters.com. You need fish tanks clean. Sugar Boutique Salon, 145 North Market Street, Wowie Maui, Kava Bar and Grill, best sushi in town. And At Home Veterinary, Dewey, Bumpus, and Lacis. Akis, TV and Electronics, Juan and Sherry. And to say aloha to our directors and our little new person, and that's Manny and Dave, Emmanuel and David. David's been on the island 4 years, right, David?
4 years today.
4 years tonight. And welcome. And we want to welcome Emmanuel, who's been here just 3 months. and we hope he's going to be a new helper for our station. Say it quick. Show you. This is, I'm Terry Lawrence. This is Mike Moran, and we are both pals.